Okay, everybody, welcome back to my channel, and we're going to be talking about this He-Man news that we just got. And so, as always, a little bit of context, some backstory for anyone who doesn't know. A while back, it was announced that there was going to be a brand new He-Man TV show. Well, actually, they announced two TV shows, but we're going to be focusing on one just for this video. And that series was said to be a sequel to the '80s show, and that it was going to be showrun by Kevin Smith. Now, a lot of people were excited for it at first, especially when they heard that it was going to be done by the same studio that did Castlevania, that being Powerhouse. And when that announcement was made, like I said, a lot of people were really, really excited that they were going to be getting another He-Man show, especially after the 2002 series ended and it wasn't really given a proper ending. However, something happened from that announcement till now that got a lot of people worried. If you don't know, Clownfish TV, which is a YouTube channel, which I do recommend you go follow, they basically put out a tweet saying that they had someone come to them with some information about the show and basically told them that this show is not going to be what you think it's going to be, and it's going to be one that you're not going to like. Basically, they said that what ends up happening in this show is that Prince Adam gets sidelined, and the show is going to be focused on Tila. She's going to be taking center stage of the show. And when a lot of people heard that, they weren't happy because how can you have a He-Man show that doesn't have He-Man? So, yeah, a lot of people were not happy, but what ended up happening is that Kevin Smith came out and he basically quote unquote debunked and in a way sort of ragged on Clownfish TV for reporting on it, even though he, let me remind you, reports on rumors that he gets all the time on his podcast. So a little bit of hypocrisy right there. So he basically came out and said that no, it's not true. Well, cut to today, and after getting the a first look and some screenshots, it seems like there's a chance that no, Kevin Smith was wrong and that he was lying, and that Clownfish TV were actually correct from the beginning. And so let's just go ahead and take a look at these screenshots before we actually read the article. So just from looking at it, you can tell, yeah, the show at least looks good. There's He-Man and he looks fantastic. There's him fighting with Skeletor. And a lot of people predict that this was only just in the first episode, and then it happens at the end. He-Man gets sidelined, and then here comes Tila taking over. There's the Sorceress. There's Skeletor, whom again all look fantastic. There's Prince Adam. There's Tila, who looks just like she did in the original show, and we'll talk about that. Don't worry. There's Mossman. There's Beastman, and there's Tila. In case you mistook her for someone else. No, that's Tila, and again, we'll talk about this. There's Roboto, there's Evelyn, there's Andra, and there's Orko, and we'll also be talking about this for a second. Don't worry, we'll get to this. I'm sure a lot of you probably already know. Now, judging based on these screenshots, specifically this one, because you have to ask the question. And when I saw this, I asked myself, why does Tila look different here than she does here? Because if you look at it specifically, her hair, you can tell it's long and that it's been, tied up, which makes sense because if you're going to go into battle, you don't want to have long hair because it does give your opponent something to hold on to. So yeah, you can see her hair. It looks like this, which looks like it did in the original show. And then you look here, and her hair is different. And yes, they gave her the shaved head look because, of course, they did. Because don't you know, all female fighters have that shaved head look? It's not like any of them don't actually like this look. In fact, think it's stupid. But no. Of course, what do I know? But this screenshot, other than just this, again, does seem to lend a lot of credence to what Clownfish TV were told, and especially when something was posted at the convention where this was announced. I think a lot of people may have forgotten about this, but I'm talking about this in particular. Again, this is when the show was announced. They decided to put out this, which is basically sort of a summary as to what the show is going to be. Let's go ahead and read this. A Radical Return to Eternia Revelation is a direct sequel, and again, keep this in mind. This is gonna come up again later in the video. A direct sequel series to the classic era Masters of the Universe, featuring fan favorites He-Man, Orko, Cringer, Man-at-Arms. The story pits our heroic warriors and Guardians of Castle Grayskull against Skeletor, Evelyn, Beastman, and the vile legions of Snake Mountain. After a ferocious final battle, this is the one that you need to focus on. After a ferocious final battle, forever fractures Eternia. Here it is. It's up to Tila to solve the mystery of the missing sword of power in a race against time to prevent the end of the universe. Her journey will uncover the secrets of Castle Grayskull at last. This is the epic He-Man and the Masters of the Universe saga fans have waited 35 years to see. Well, it turns out that's not going to be the case, but this is the one that we need to focus on. It says it's up to Tila to solve the mystery of the missing universe, of the missing sword of power and race against time to prevent the end of the universe. Now, that statement in particular, when I read that and then I look at this, and it seems to again lend credence to what Clownfish TV were told, because you have to ask yourself again, why does Tila look like this, whereas before we see her this? Now I could be wrong. Maybe this is this is what she looks like at the beginning, and she ends up looking like this in the end. I don't know, but I very much doubt that because again, look at her hair. For example, if this is a direct sequel, why would at the beginning it would look like she gave herself a haircut? So yeah, again, this to me it seems like it does lend credence. Although I do also have to ask, why is Evelyn with them? Because she's with Skeletor, so why is she with the heroes? I don't know. But it looks to me like they're in disguise and they're on an adventure, which again matches up with what was said here. And again, it goes to show you that you can't trust Hollywood to do anything. You can't trust them. The second you think that they're going to actually give you what you want, which is a faithful adaptation of the source material, that's all we want. And in this case, a faithful sequel to what came before it. Because again, they said it themselves, it's a direct sequel. And yet people are pretending like, oh no, this is don't you know, this is actually a reboot. It's not a reboot. They said it themselves. This is a sequel. A sequel. So let's just go ahead and read the article. But before that, I just want to talk about this for a second. In case you don't know, like I said, this is Andra. And in case you don't know, just by looking at her, you can tell she's a black woman, right? I'm sure most of you probably already know where I'm going with this, but why don't I show you what Lieutenant Andra originally looked like? This is her. This is what she originally looked like. She was a white-skinned blonde woman. They race swapped a character, which again, let me be honest, I'm not even mad. Honestly, I kind of expected this. I would have been shocked if they didn't do this, in fact. But I'm not going to waste my energy on this. You guys already know how I feel about this. So let's just move on and actually read the article. And let's just go ahead. And we're not going to read the whole article, just the parts that are kind of important and I think we need to actually focus on. So let's just go ahead and take a look. This is a direct quote from Kevin Smith. Everything I've worked on in like 27 years, this is easily in the top 5 of my favorite, most satisfying projects. Where is it? He said, "When I die, there'll be He-Man Clerks. Remember, because that's the most memorable thing I think I've done. I think this has a running shot at being like He-Man Clerks and that one cartoon one time. So okay, haha, he's being jokey. This has to do with this show, split into 2 parts, with 5 episodes of part 1 premiering on Netflix this July 23rd. The show features an all-star voice cast ensemble that includes Star Wars veteran Mark Hamill, who's voicing Skeletor, Lena Headey as Evil Lynn, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila, Alicia Silverstone as Queen Marlena, Batman voice actor Kevin Conroy as Merman, and the original voice of Skeletor, Alan Oppenheimer, who now in the role of Moss Man. And again, they said themselves, this is a sequel series. The main mythos remains intact. Prince Adam, the son of the ruling family of the realm of Eternia, uses the sword of power to transform into the chiseled He-Man to defend his kingdom from threats, mostly from Skeletor and his forces. But now, as Smith says, these shackles are off to build a richer lore and explore different aspects of these beloved characters. Yeah, whatever. This is interesting, because this again gives you an idea as to what the show is actually going to be about. We get to see them engage, not just in clashing swords, but in far deeper conversations that we've ever seen them before. Oh joy, it's going to be the feelings hour. It's not simply like these two dudes have been trying to beat each other up for decades. We get to tell stories. Oh, Jesus Christ! We get to tell stories of abuse. We get to tell stories of isolation and grief. There it is. That's the show. It's not going to be about just the typical good versus evil, which is what He-Man was. And yeah, there were some morals to the story, of course. But you know, the second you hear shit like this, it's gonna be so melodramatic, it's gonna be boring, and you're just gonna want to slap every single character you see on screen. To tell insanely human stories set in a very inhuman world. Of course, of course. Let's see, what else did I want to. Where else is it? He said, "Do me a favor, blah blah blah. Believe, just make me believe that again. Those are our marching orders, whatever." There's something else locked up with the old show. Sure. Things take a shift, which allows all the characters to go through these periods of growth. A cataclysmic event that would shake it up. A cataclysmic event. Oh, you mean like what it was said right here? Which again lends credence to what Clownfish TV were told that you said wasn't true. A final battle forever fractures Eternia. Where is it? Where is it? About that cataclysm, huh? Is it okay? Okay, sure. But keep telling us how it's not true. Sure. Only certain people know the secret that Prince Adam is really He-Man. We build our entire story on who was left out of the secret and damaging trickle-down effects of that. Oh, again, this is just gonna be a joy to watch. It's not going to be melodramatic at all. A hero has to live under deception in order to protect those he loves, but it's about how that deception rots at the core. Oh, God. Part 1 felt like a great act break. You get to it and you're like, oh man, this is just dramatic. The game has changed. The characters at the beginning of Revelation are going to be very different than they will be in the end. Where is it? How to tell stories from playing with his toys growing up with Smith, the kind of material for hours, whatever. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Oh, this is beautiful. For Dave, becoming the best version of yourself has always been at the heart of He-Man, and it's true now of Revelation. We wanted to reiterate that, but make it even more broad. It's not just He-Man that has something special inside him, but every character and every viewer. We all have the power. Oh, go fuck yourself. We don't all have the power. Prince Adam has the power. That's what makes him He-Man. That's why he was the one who was able to fight against Skeletor and his army. If everyone else had the power, they never would have needed He-Man in the first place. Jesus fucking Christ. I hate this. I fucking hate this. Nothing is safe. Nothing can just be what it is. It all has to be taken. It all has to be bastardized. And it all has to be for, like I said, modern audiences. Go fuck yourselves. I'm just going to end this video right here, guys. Let me know your thoughts as always. You know, do the YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribing, whatever. Stay safe and join me for the next one. Fucking hell.